Here I am. Here we are. Yes, another week.
Hey Couture Bays, it's your girl Britt Brat coming live with the Bree Talk and Bay Squad. We got to talk about the Black divide and the trans conversation dealing with Black women. But before we get started, let's like, comment, and subscribe. Tap that notification bell so you can get all the updates and alerts. And remember, opinions are not facts. Everything we say here is allegedly and for entertainment purposes solely. So sit back, relax, sip you some apple juice or my faith, the vegan water, and let's get into the mess, shall we?
Good morning, family. So I wake up this morning, get my day started, and I realize that Carlos King's team has just released this really amazing clip of a conversation that happened between me and Dustin Ross and Funky Dineva, moderated by Carlos, about the E.J. Johnson interview that he did that went viral recently, and just in general what it's like to date in the queer space, right? What is it like to date as an LGBTQ plus person? Now, in this clip, Funky Dineva asked me, why do you think Black women often have feelings of disdain for trans girls, right? And I explained to Funky Dineva and the panel that I have noticed as a trans advocate, pause, you hear that? I am a trans advocate. As someone who is an ally to the trans community, I have experienced myself that Black women are among some of the hardest people to convince to let go of internalized transphobia. And I explained to the panel why I believe that is.
Break down the disconnect between Black women and trans women. Talk to us about that. School us a little bit.
Yeah, and this is so interesting. I feel like the gay anthropologist here. But here's the thing. I want my community to love on each other, and so we have to call a thing by its name before we can.
We all do, yes. I agree with that.
Call the thing by its name. A large part of this, and this is something that a lot of women, they don't have the language to say, but when I say to them, they're like, oh, snap, you're right. Black women are at the very, very bottom of the proverbial food chain, right? Mm-hmm. Black men, depending on the metrics, are sometimes next to us or way above us. Mm-hmm. When it is based on gender, they're right next to white men. They're second place. Mm-hmm. When it's based on race, they come back down to us and white women take second place. So Black men and white women, they switch places taking second. Mm-hmm. We never get to be second. We're always last. We never get to move up and down based on gender or money. We're always last. Then you create the space where when the Black men are next to the white women tapping in, is it gender? My turn. Is it race? Your turn. Second place. They then start to bond over their disdain for the Black women who are catching up through education, even though they're still in last place. How that hoe get next to us, right? Mm-hmm. Then you create this thing that happens where a lot of Black men now try to look for as a status symbol, well, if I want to beat this white man, the thing I can do is take his bitch. So a lot of Black men have started to exalt white women with our body parts as our replacement, because I get to have the look and feel of a Black woman, but I get to spite the white man that I'm subconsciously still arguing with for first place, right? Mm-hmm. So now there's this interesting dance of everybody's dancing around second and first, we still in last place. So now we have to share space now, sometimes conditionally, with white presenting Black women who, because of racial identity being ambiguous, have the curly hair and the white phenotypes, but because they're 3% white like Mary from Sinners, we gotta call her a Black woman even though she ain't done none of the shit that we've had to go through, right? So Black women are already tired from the word Black woman being diluted with whiteness because of white supremacy. And then you add a trans girl who had the privilege of being a man in society's eyes before she made peace with being trans. And in our minds, subconsciously, we're thinking, everybody gets to run up and down but us. And there's a fatigue there that makes it hard to be hospitable, because you're saying you're a woman, but you got to be a nigga for about 27 years first. I didn't even get that. And I'm already sharing space with the white bitch because she got a curl pattern, right? Like, I'm tired. When do y'all just get to admit that this thing, this cis het Black woman thing, this racially unambiguous Black woman thing, only I have truly experienced it like this? Now, here's the thing, though. I have been an emotional intelligence coach for almost 20 years now. It is my job as a coach to understand the pain that informs people's decisions and their fear-based reactions. Just because I eloquently explained why Black women find themselves being transphobic does not mean I agree with it. Just because I can understand how you got there does not mean I condone it. And so when I went in the comments and people were saying things like, oh, this is exactly what Just With The Mess was trying to say. No, it's not. Respectfully to Just With The Mess, what I just did masterfully in that clip is not what Just With The Mess was trying to explain. Just With The Mess was being disrespectful to trans girls. She was flattening their experience and being demeaning and dehumanizing them. That is not what I did. And I take great offense to being compared to someone who did not take the care that I took and who centered herself in something that is not about her. So, to any Black women who felt seen watching that clip, sis, I am happy that you know that I understand why you're hurting and where it comes from. However, please watch the entire video where after I explain where your pain comes from, I then advocate for you to push past it so you can be a true ally and stop using your hurt to hurt others. Because in the same way that I can explain why Black women find themselves having tricky, complicated feelings around trans girls, I can also do the same thing for men. I can explain why men join the red pill community. I know exactly the kind of pain that causes that. I don't condone that either. Understanding pain does not mean that you have an excuse to continue weaponizing it. That's the part the clip couldn't show because it's a clip, obviously. So in summation, if you saw that clip and thought I was amazing, because I am, and though you mistook me as a transphobe and are expecting me to be spewing out anti-trans rhetoric, I want to save you from following me because that's not what this is. It is possible for me to hold space for everyone's humanity while still constantly reminding them that their pain is never an excuse to dehumanize others. Say it with me, boys and girls.
I like that she cleared this up, but I do have some points I would like to address because I feel like even with all of her intellect and vernacular and range, I feel like this is a generational thing because the women of my generation and beneath me do not care what's going on with trans women. A lot more of us are allies than agitators. And I believe the nuances people who have experienced their mothers being anti their lifestyle take that out on a collective of Black women. I stand on that, especially when they do groupthink, when one Black woman will have an issue with quote unquote one of their friends who happens to be a trans woman, and they always boil it down to men when it's not even about men. Like, this generation of women don't even care about the men. Let's be very clear. We have opted out of marriage, birthing children. That should show you where our mindset is at. So for them to keep having these redundant talking points, I feel like it is maybe geared to their generation. I'll even take it a step further. When the Tasha K's, the Just Hilariouses, the Prettiest Political, myself and others who said, hey, let's leave the kids out of it, when certain popular trans women came and infringed on a collective of Black women, all of a sudden it was like, shut up and be cute and mute. And we fought back. And then all of a sudden we were labeled things simply for disagreeing with one. They even went as far as going to double team and tag team. I mean, hell, ask Michelle Atielian. The list can go on and on and on. And it's always where you're just being one of the phobics because I simply disagree with one. And I'll take it a step further. Why are we continuously saying it's because of desirability of men? That to me is weird. Again, when it comes to trans women, trans rights, trans visibility, it's always a non-Black man or woman in position of power who is infringing on their rights. Hell, Caitlyn Jenner was over there giving their rights away because Caitlyn Jenner has the money. So how come y'all don't ever call out these non-Black personalities? Oh, because you're proximic to whiteness. And I'm going to add this clip from Chrissy because I think it's very pivotal in this conversation as well. And we'll discuss that too.
You are a transgender woman. Why do you want to be called a woman? If you want trans lives to matter, why don't you want to be called a transgender woman? Why do you want to be called a woman instead of a transgender woman?
Woo child in Base Squad, they was not answering the question. They was calling him everything but a child of God. But I will end it with this. When it comes to the trans topic and Black women, I think in a lot of trans women's minds, black women don't like them because their mothers don't, or their mothers don't accept them, and they're taking it out on us as a collective. And that is the problem. A lot of black women are truly allies, and all we ask for is respect. We don't even get the respect because a lot of trans women still harbor misogyny. They still harbor a lot of toxicity because they have testosterone still pumping in their body. So until that is addressed, I don't think the nuances need to ever be discussed again. I'm just sick of it. Like, do y'all have nothing else to talk about? Because again, I will end it with this. White men and women are the only ones posing a threat to the trans community, and they have yet to come out to dismantle that because their desirability to proxemics to whiteness will always reign supreme over their own agendas. And on that note, what are your thoughts, Space Squad? What are your opinions? Comment down below. I gotta go. Bye, hoes.